Casino gambling can be fun. It's more fun when you win. The game of roulette. It sounds French, doesn't it? Well, it's not. It was created by the Italians over 300 years ago. It's a game that worldwide is very popular. In Monte Carlo, you may see 50 or 75 roulette tables and only a half a dozen 21 tables. In the United States, you'll see the reverse, very few roulette tables. Although it's not as popular in the United States, it is a lot of fun to play, and it can be very profitable if you know what you're doing. The problem with the game, though, from my way of thinking, is the edge, the casino's edge, is a little bit too high. You remember that casino's edge? That's the true odds minus the odds the casino pays you. The difference in a percentage is called the casino's edge. In most of the other table games, we can get that edge down to less than 1%. But in roulette, it's still, no matter what you do, going to be over 5%. That means, translated to your money, for every $100 you bet, you're going to lose $5 over time. Gradually, you'll lose your money. But you're not going to play roulette that long. Roulette is a game you play not necessarily with a big buy-in. You hope to get a little lucky. You bet properly. With those big odds, you can win a lot in a little bit of time. So although roulette is not the best game percentage-wise, the odds kind of make up for it, and it is a very exciting game. When you hear that ball spinning and it's slowing down, and you know it's going to be landing on a number soon, you've got your money on the number, you kind of hold your breath, bang. If that number hits, there's a rush there that really can't be beat by any of the other games. So roulette is something that you need to know how to play, only because it gives you another choice, another option. And the amazing thing about roulette, though, is of all the games, it's the most popular game worldwide, but it's also a game that almost everybody that plays has no idea really what they're doing. Very few people know the best way to play roulette. I know it, and now I'm going to show you how to be the toughest player to beat in roulette. Okay, here we are at the roulette table. Fascinating layout, a lot of numbers, a lot of colors. Looks pretty intimidating when all these chips are piled up on there and everybody's betting their different colored chips. Have any of you folks played roulette before?
Never.
Fantastic. I like that because you don't have any bad habits. More players have bad habits in roulette than any other game. And you're going to learn why when this lesson goes a little further. But roulette itself is a very simple game. You don't make any decisions except before the ball is spun by the dealer, you decide which bet you want to make. You make the bet, the dealer goes over to the wheel, he spins it in a counterclockwise manner, takes the ball, spins it, everybody's waiting now. You can make bets while the ball is spinning until you hear the ball dropping. Once the ball drops, the dealer's going to take this, it's called a marker, and he's going to put it on the number. And let's see what it is, number 32. I'll put it there. Anybody that won that particular bet collects, everybody else lost, and we're ready for the next spin. Very simple on your part. There's no decisions to make like in blackjack once you get your card. Should I hit, should I stand? So that's the betting. That's pretty much how you bet. Let's talk about the chips for a second. These chips, all these different colors, a lot of chips on a roulette table, they have no value except the value you determine they're going to have. In other words, this table is probably will make it a $5 minimum for our purposes. But in roulette, the minimums are very low. You can find a $2 minimum roulette table, $3, $5. If it's a $2 table, $3 table, these chips, unless you say differently, will be worth $0.50. So a stack of 20 chips is only $10. If it's a $5 table, probably they'll be worth dollars. So since this is a $5 table, we're going to have our chips worth dollars unless you tell me differently. The only reason they're different colors is because for the dealer to know which players have which chips. In other words, let's say you bet, and you bet on this section right here, and you bet here, and somebody else comes along and they want to bet that number too, and they want to bet there. Somebody else is betting here, and you got somebody else betting on top of that, and then somebody else betting on that. The dealer knows, because of the colors, whose chips belong to who. And that's really the only reason for it. They have no value, though, so you want to remember that when you leave the roulette table, make sure you cash your chips out at the roulette table. If you don't do that, what's going to happen is you go to the cage, they say they have no value to us. You go back to the roulette table. If they were just dollars, there's no problem. But suppose you had them be worth $5. Suppose you had them be worth $100 a piece. All the dealer would do is, you want these blue ones to be worth $100? He'll take a chip, put a $100 chip by it. That tells everybody that those blue chips are worth $100 a piece. Okay? At the table. Bring them to the cage, you forget. You say they're worth $100 a piece. Well, you go back to the table. If it's a new dealer, they don't know. You're going to get $1 a piece for them. Make sure you return the chips at the table before you finish. So since the chips have no value, you'll find roulette dealers. You can always recognize a roulette dealer because he's playing with his chips all the time. They have no value. He's allowed to touch them. He's shuffling them like this. He may play little games with them. He'll pick them up and spin them around and flip them around and do all these things. He has a lot of practice. Usually roulette dealers are the best with chips because they work with them so often. So that's the chips, and that's the value of the chips. Well, I notice you have some money in front of you. Can I help you with that money? You want to do something? Buy some chips?
Yeah, may I buy them at the table?
Of course you can buy them at the table. You can buy them at any table in the casino. The casino will make it very easy for you to turn your money into nice little plastic chips. They'll do that for you, okay? But what you don't want to do is, you see where your money is?
Yes.
That's on a bet. You're betting that any black number is going to come out. Black number is going to come out right now. If I didn't see you, and I didn't ask you, and you just put that money down and made the assumption, once that ball drops, if your money's there, you booked a bet. If it came out red, you just lost $100. But I know you want to make change, so let's take your money now. I'm going to give you, what would you like, $1 chips?
Yes.
We're at a $5 minimum. They'll all be worth $1. Okay, I'd yell out right now, change 100, so the foreman knows that I'm making change of a large bill so we can keep track of how the table's doing, make sure I make correct change. And I'll give you 100 $1 chips. That's 5 stacks, 20 in each stack, $100. I'll take this, thank you very much. Say goodbye. And now you're on your way, you got some chips. Let's talk about the possible bets you can make on the table. Okay, let's start with the outside. These are all even money propositions. This last row of bets, move your chips out of the way a little bit so I can, any of these bets pay even money. If you bet $5, $5 minimum, the casino is going to pay you. If it wins, $5, even money. This means any one of the last 18 numbers, number 19 through number 36. This is any odd number, any black number, any red number, any even number, or any one of the first 18 numbers. Even money payoffs. The second bets we're going to talk about are sections and columns. This is a section. If you put $5 here, you're betting that any one of these first 12 numbers is going to come out. Any one comes out, the casino is going to pay you 2 to 1. You bet 5, they're going to pay you 10. Okay? If you bet over here, you're betting any one of the second 12 numbers are going to come out, from 13 to 24. Same thing, going to pay you 2 to 1. Here, any one of the third 12 numbers, 2 to 1. You can also bet columns. You can bet this whole column of numbers. Any number comes out in this whole column, again, the casino will pay you. You bet 5, they'll pay you 10, 2 to 1. This column, or this column. All the same, all 2 to 1. Those are all considered what we call outside bets. Any one of those bets, you have to put $5 in that spot. Okay, you can't put 3 here and 2 there and consider it your $5 minimum bet. Okay, it has to be 5. The rest of the bets inside, called the numbers, you can bet in a lot of different ways. Say you put a chip straight up on a number. If that number hits, the casino's going to pay you 35 to 1. But there's also 2 other numbers, the 0 and the 00. These are called the house numbers. The reason for that is they're not red, they're not black, they're not odd, they're not even. There's no section, there's no column that can incorporate these numbers. If those numbers come up, the house wins all of those outside bets. Now there is an exception to that. Some casinos will actually let you have a push if the 000 comes up, but that's very rare. In general, they're house numbers. They make all those propositions lose. What does that do to your casino edge? 35 to 1, they're paying you. The true odds are 36 numbers plus 2, 38. True odds should be 37 to 1. They're giving you 35 to 1. That translates down to a 5.4% casino edge. That means for every $100 you bet, like we talked about, you're going to lose $5.40. Okay? On the outside, there's 18 red and 18 black, but there's 2 green. Same situation. 18, but there's 20. That comes down to a 5.6% edge for the casino. Okay, that's how the casino gets its edge, and that's why the edge is so high in this game, but the odds are so high it kind of compensates for it. So you can bet a number straight up, that's 35 to 1, okay, if the number hits. But you can also do this. Split 2 numbers. Do it this way, this way. The 0 and 00 are just like any other number. You can split them this way, or you can split the 1 and the 0, the 2 and the 0, the 2 and the 00. Any combination where 2 numbers meet. You can also make this same bet down here for people at this end of the table. Not on this line, but the line connecting these 2 sections, that's the same as putting a chip there. You can also bet these numbers straight up. They're just like any other number, the 0 and 00 when you're betting them. Okay, those are the green numbers, the house numbers. In Europe, European roulette, there's only 1 0. There's no 00. That changes the edge down to 2.7%. Much better for you if there's only 1 0. Hard to find in the United States, though. So that's splitting two numbers. If either one of these numbers comes out, the house will pay you 17 to 1. Okay? Another way you can bet is to put a chip out here on a row. If any one of these three numbers comes out, you get 11 to 1. You can put a chip like this, cover 4 numbers. Any one of the 4 comes out, 8 to 1. You can put a chip like this, cover 6 numbers. Any one of the 6 comes out, pays you 5 to 1. You can also put a chip up here, cover 5 numbers. Let's get that out of the way. 5 numbers, house will pay you 6 to 1. But I want to point out something to you now that's a little different. There's a little bit of a change here. Usually, in all the other bets, no matter what you do, it works out the same. Let me give you an example. 3 numbers pays 11 to 1, right? If you took $3, put it on that bet, you'd get 11 to 1 times 3 is 33, plus the 3 you originally bet you would keep, you wind up with 36. You put out 3, you wind up with 36. If you do it this way, with that $3, you're going to get 35 to 1 here, 35 and 1 here, 35 and 1 is 36. You're going to lose these 2 if that number came up. You still got your 36. If you split 2 numbers, 17 to 1, okay, let's say you put $2 on splitting 2 numbers, 17 to 1. They're going to pay you 34 plus 2, you're going to wind up with 36. If you did it this way, 35 plus the 1, you lose that one, you still got the 36. So no matter how you do it, it's going to work out the same. It's amazing how this game is so well thought out. One little difference, though. If you took the 5 chips here, bet them this way. 5 numbers pays 6 to 1, right? They'd pay you 30, you'd keep your 5, you have 35 when you're done. You put out 5, you have 35. Do it this way instead if you want to bet that bet. Because now you put out 5, let's say the 1 came out, you lost these, they pay you 35 to 1, you keep the 1, you got 36. So you pick up an extra $1. That's the only place you'll pick up an extra $1 if you bet them separately instead of betting this way. So those are all the possible bets you can make. Okay? It goes from 35 to 1, 17 to 1, 11 to 1, 8 to 1, 6 to 1, 5 to 1, and it all depends on how you make those bets that makes the difference. We're going to get into that when we talk about our first golden rule. But for now, I want to show you a typical example of what happens at the roulette table. And what I want you to do is, when I spin the ball, I want all of you to start. I told you some of the bets. Just make some bets while that ball is spinning, okay? Make your bets. Put some chips out there. Go ahead. Just have some fun. Pick some numbers. There you go. I think I'm going to bet the outside there. Okay, you can make your bets. Go ahead. Okay, everybody's making their bets. You can still make more. The ball hasn't dropped, but it's getting close. Okay, now, once you hear that sound, that ball dropping, that means no more bets. You don't want to be making a bet at that time. I'll tell you why. This layout is very difficult to protect. That dealer has to watch everything. When that ball is dropping, that's a time when it's crucial. This is when cheating teams would come in. Somebody would come over the wheel from here, try to make a bet when the ball's ready to drop. The dealer has to say, excuse me, you can't make any more bets. This guy down the end is adding 5 chips to his because the dealer had to pay attention to him. This guy's trying to put money over here. A lot of things can happen. You're going to get him mad if you keep doing that, and he's not going to be a very good clerk for you. So as soon as you hear that ball drop, stop, don't make any more bets. Let's see where it landed. It landed on number 19. Look at this. All these bets, nobody won? I don't believe this. So we'll take these away. These are all losers, but the outside bet that I made did win. It's red, so I got 5. Okay, you cannot make any more bets now, even though everything's off. There may have been some chips on here that I had to pay off until the dealer removes this marker. That's your signal. That's your signal to now make your bets for the next spin. Okay, don't make any more bets yet, but now the dealer has to do what is called mucking the checks. You've got to put them back in order for my next, for my next spin. So while I'm doing this, and I've taken that marker off, this is the best time for you to talk to the dealer. Get to know him, ask questions, tell him you're new. Develop a little rapport with the dealer. Whatever it is you need to know, this is a good time to do that. The dealer's going to be mucking these checks. See, chips are called checks in a casino. And if the table were really crowded, there would be another dealer here called a mucker. And his job is just to do that, just to muck the checks, get them back into shape. Okay, when you're watching the dealer making his payoffs, you want to remember, you want to make sure you're getting the right payoff. You know these are stacks of 20, okay? So let's say you hit two numbers, and you know you're supposed to get 17. He'll grab a stack of 20, and he'll just drop off 3 and give you the rest. You know you got your right payoff. Let's say you had 2 chips. Say you had this. You had 2 chips on there. 8 and 8 is 16 you're supposed to get. He'll take the stack, drop off 4. He's not going to count them down all the time for you. So pretty much, that's what the casino offers. That's the etiquette of the game. That's what you need to know to actually play the game. But we haven't really gotten into the best way to play the game yet. That's coming next. Correct basic strategy, the first of your golden rules. Very important. In roulette, little different. We have odds that are being paid from 35 to 1 down to even money, so we're going to change our strategies along the way. But let's start with the outside bets, the even money propositions, okay? Anything on this outside line, like we talked about, pays even money. The first approach is play off somebody else's luck. You're not playing against the dealer like in 21. If somebody's real lucky and they're betting on red and they're winning, well then you take your chips and you bet on red with them. They're betting on black and winning, you bet on black. Even, odd, whatever that even money proposition is, just follow them and put your chips on theirs. Ride their winning streak. The reverse. Let's say they're unlucky. No matter what they do, luck exists, they're losing. They're aggravated. They're doing terrible. They bet on red, you bet on black. They bet on even, you bet on odd. They bet the first 18, you bet the last 18 numbers. It's not personal. You're not betting against them. There's all kinds of chips on the layout. Don't get concerned with that. You're just trying to cash in on the rhythm of the game and what's happening. That's one way to bet. It's not my favorite way, but it is a way. What I prefer is very similar to what we did in Baccarat. Do you remember Baccarat? How we followed the shoe, came out player, stay on player, bank, stay on bank. People do the same thing in roulette. They'll sit there and they'll say if they're playing black or red, they'll be thinking, well, it came out 2 red, so a black is due. It came out black, now it's going back. They're guessing, hunches back. You're never going to, the chances of catching a streak of things together is very difficult in that approach. It's not quite as good as Baccarat because, you know, it's not 50-50 because you have the 2 green numbers. Okay, so it's not quite as good. But the same philosophy still applies. Those streaks will come. It's not uncommon to have 6, 8, 10 blacks in a row, reds in a row, even numbers, odd numbers. You'll be there for the streak. All you do is follow the ball. Comes out red, put your money on red. Keep it on red as long as red's coming out. Goes to black, move it to black. Betting even numbers, stay with them until an odd number comes out, then move it to odd, stay on odd. It's that simple on the outside, okay? That's the outside. What about the sections and columns? Same philosophy, but a little different. It's 2 to 1 now, okay? Look for the repeater. If you've ever seen a roulette game, if you ever played the game, you know that sometimes that marker, that ball just seems to be hitting, and it might stay in this section of numbers for a while. It might hit this column of numbers for a while. It might stay in this section for a while. So, if you see that it hit, let's say, in the 3rd section, your section bet would be, you'd have to take 5, you put it in this section, because that just hit. You're looking for that section to hit 2 in a row, okay? If it wins, remember, you're going to get paid 2 to 1 on this one. So you get paid 2, you'd win the 10. You're looking for the repeater of a section or a column. That's one approach. People like to play a section and a column. What they're doing there is they might play this middle column and maybe this section. Now, what's going to happen, I'll use these chips, is let's say it came out, let's say it comes out over here and you hit the column. Okay, you're going to get 10, you're getting paid 10, but you lost this 5, so you actually wound up winning $5. If you bet this column and this column, that's the worst, or this section and this section, because now you have to lose. To win this, you have to lose this. To win this, you have to lose this. But if you do it this way, and you go a section and a column, at least you've got 4 numbers that you can collect on both. Okay, you're giving a shot, at least, to collect on both numbers. If this comes out, well, getting paid here, and you're getting paid here. Okay, so if you're going to bet the sections and the columns, 2 bets, you want to make sure you do a section in a column. You don't do two sections or two columns. That's not really the way to go on that one. Okay, that's the sections and the columns. Now there's one little weakness in the wheel, in this whole layout. I showed you one over here. There's another one. Take a look at this first column. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red, and you got 3, 4, 5, 6 black. Nice and even, right? What about the second one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 black, and only 4 red. And this last column, 8 red, and only 4 black. So what you do in this case is you bet a column and a color. You bet the middle column. There's 8 black in that one. Okay, you're going to go with black because you have a better chance to collect on both. Okay, if you bet the third column, then you're going to bet red. Okay, that's how you take advantage of that little inconsistency in the wheel. Okay, that's about the only breaks you get. The percentage is high, the edge is there, the odds are high, you can win quickly. Those are the only weaknesses. Up here, you bet it that way. Section and a column, not two sections, not two columns. Black in the middle column, red in third column. Those are your outside bets. Okay, that's your basic strategy for the outside bets. Everybody understand that?
Yes, I do.
No problem with it? Okay, let's talk about the inside. The inside's a little different. Now, we told you all the various bets you could make on the inside. We know that. Let's take a look at them a little closer. If you bet one number, pays 35 to 1, right? If you bet two numbers, 17 to 1. 17 and 17 is how much? 34, right? Three numbers, 11 times 3, pays 11 to 1, is 33. Four numbers, 4 times 8 is 32. Six numbers, 5 times 6 is 30. Five numbers, even though you wouldn't bet it that way, 5 numbers pays 6 to 1, 5 times 6 is 30. So the more numbers you bet, you're decreasing your own odds because you're betting against yourself. So the best way to bet is one number straight up. Okay, you're getting the 35 to 1. You're bet. Be kind of boring though. Basically, if you do that, you bet the minimum. If it hits 1 in 35 tries, you're even or you're ahead. Okay, but you're sitting there betting one number. Not too exciting, I know. Okay, but can be profitable. What you'll see a lot of players, well, getting paid here, and you're getting paid here. Okay, so if you're going to bet the sections and the columns, two bets, you want to make sure you do a section in a column. You don't do two sections or two columns. That's not really the way to go on that one. Okay, that's the sections and the columns. Now there's one little weakness in the wheel, in this whole layout. I showed you one over here. There's another one. Take a look at this first column. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red, and you got 3, 4, 5, 6 black. Nice and even, right? What about the second one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 black, and only 4 red. And this last column, 8 red, and only 4 black. So what you do in this case is you bet a column and a color. You bet the middle column. There's 8 black in that one. Okay, you're going to go with black because you have a better chance to collect on both. Okay, if you bet the third column, then you're going to bet red. Okay, that's how you take advantage of that little inconsistency in the wheel. Okay, that's about the only breaks you get. The percentage is high, the edge is there, the odds are high, you can win quickly. Those are the only weaknesses. Up here, you bet it that way. Section and a column, not two sections, not two columns. Black in the middle column, red in third column. Those are your outside bets. Okay, that's your basic strategy for the outside bets. Everybody understand that?
Yes, I do.
No problem with it? Okay, let's talk about the inside. The inside's a little different. Now, we told you all the various bets you could make on the inside. We know that. Let's take a look at them a little closer. If you bet one number, pays 35 to 1, right? If you bet two numbers, 17 to 1. 17 and 17 is how much? 34, right? 3 numbers, 11 times 3 pays 11 to 1 is 33. 4 numbers, 4 times 8 is 32. 6 numbers, 5 times 6 is 30. 5 numbers, even though you wouldn't bet it that way, 5 numbers pay 6 to 1, 5 times 6 is 30. So the more numbers you bet, you're decreasing your own odds because you're betting against yourself. So the best way to bet is one number straight up. Okay, you're getting the 35 to 1. You're be kind of boring though. Basically, if you do that, you bet the minimum. If it hits 1 in 35 tries, you're even or you're ahead. Okay, but you're sitting there betting one number. Not too exciting, I know. Okay, but can be profitable. What you'll see a lot of players doing is they'll put a chip here and a chip here. Let's say you've got your 5 chips even, right? You're betting your $5 minimum. And they say, oh, I like these 4 numbers, and oh, I like these 2 numbers, and I like these 4 numbers, and oh, I like those 4, and oh, well, I think I'll try these 2 over here. You got your chips out. You ever see that in the roulette table? They're putting their chips everywhere all over the place. What you're doing is, it's great. Say it comes out 32. You collect. You had to lose these 4 to get paid the 8. So you really only won 4. You laid 5 to win 4. Seems like winning 8 to 1. You've bet against yourself. Now, I did it with 5 chips. The real roulette maniacs, you see, they love it. They're out there. I mean, they got chips. They can't put them out fast enough. They got 2 hands going. They don't even know where they're going. And every roll, they're collecting money. But all they're doing is winning time, okay? That's not the way you're going to bet if you bet the inside numbers. This is what you're going to do. Say you like the number 20. Put a chip on the 20. We'll use your 5 chips. Maybe you'll put one over here. Maybe you'll put one here. Maybe you'll put one here. And maybe you'll put one here. Now, if it hits 23, yes, you will lose those, but you'll win on that. If it hits 17, you'll lose those and win on that. You've got some good payoffs here. You'd win 8 to 1 here and 11 to 1 here. Okay, so it's a little better. But what if number 20 hit? Now you collect on all. Okay, what a difference. You're giving yourself one shot. That ball spins. It could land. No, it could land on the 18. You could lose. It could land over here. Just pick up 17. But at least you've got one shot, one chance to collect on every chip you've bet. And look at this, number 20. Okay, let's see what you collect. Let's figure it out. You got 11 to 1 here. You got 8 to 1 here. That's 19. You got 17 to 1 here. That's 36. You got 17 to 1 here. It's 46, 53. And you got 35 to 1 here. 83, 88. So for that bet, the dealer is going to come over. These are stacks of 20. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 80. And there's the 8. $88. Good luck. Okay?
That's pretty
At least you've got a chance. Okay? You have to have that chance for one number. It may not happen all the time. You don't have to do it this way. You could do it this way. You could do it this way. Any way you want, as long as every chip you bet covers that number. Do you understand that? That's betting the inside numbers. Okay. One more method I'm going to